We are going to talk about surface area of prisms and cylinders. So we're going to go from 2-dimensional geometry to 3-dimensional geometry. So what you're going to learn is we're going to talk about faces and bases. We're going to talk about lateral area and surface area and how exactly to find lateral area and surface area. So the first thing we want to look at is what is the difference between faces and bases? Okay, so the bases, as it says in your notes, are the two parallel sides. Okay, they're most of the times non-rectangular. So in the case of this cylinder here, okay, this is going to be, the circle in here is one of my bases, and the one that's totally parallel to it, the top, is the other base. In a rectangular prism, it's really hard to tell what the base is because it could be anything you really want it to be. I could go with this top part right here because everything is going to be rectangular. Everything's going to be parallel. So it's hard to tell. But there's only two of them. So with the cylinder, there was only two circles. In this trapezoidal prism, okay, I have a trapezoid here, and then I have the trapezoid that is behind it. Okay, so those are my parallel sides. Well, this side is parallel to this side. They're not the exact same measurement. So they need to also be the exact same measurements besides being parallel. Okay, so we have two different kinds of area we're looking at. One of which is the lateral area and the other is the surface area. A lateral area, think of painting the outside of your house. I'm not going to paint the roof because that's shingles, or now we're into the tin roofs, but we don't paint that. And we don't paint underneath the house. We don't paint that because it's sitting on the ground or there's a basement or whatever. So you just paint the outside of the house. So we're just painting there. Okay. Or if I'm talking about inside the house, if I'm talking about a room, the lateral area is just painting the walls. We've got carpet on the floors. We've got usually a white or plaster ceiling. So it's just the walls for the lateral area. Surface area, think of it as how much wrapping paper does it take to wrap a package. Now we all know that they overlap, but the surface area is everything, the top, the bottom, all the sides. So today we're just going to talk about prisms, whether they're rectangular, triangular, hexagonal, whatever they are, and cylinders. And these are taken, cut and pasted directly from your formula sheet that you'll have for your SOL. We're going to be worried about lateral area and surface area today. I do want you to notice with this rectangular prism here, it doesn't have lateral area. Reason we don't tend to find lateral area with the prisms is because there's at least, well, there is 3 different lateral areas. If I go with this as my base, that gives me 1 lateral area. If I go with these as my bases, these sides, then the bigger rectangles would be used for the lateral area. So there really is no lateral area for a rectangular or a square prism. Okay, so on your formula sheet, we're not used to seeing H and P. Okay, we're not used to seeing big B. So what you need to know is that big B is the area of the base. On your formula sheet, it does explain or define some variables. I'm not sure it does the area of the base. And then height is always the height of the object. And P is the perimeter of the bases. So P is the perimeter of base, which remember is the distance around. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So I want to find the lateral area and the surface area of this triangular prism. So probably one of the first things I do when I'm doing these is I have to decide what the base is. So I kind of look at the base. I've got some triangles here. So here is one of my bases, and then up here is my other base. Right, so I have to find the area of that base, and that base is a triangle. And to find the area of that triangle, area, it's yellow, I need to change that. Area is equal to 1/2 the base times the height. In a right triangle, both of the legs are the bases and the heights. So that we have this leg, but we don't have this leg. So sometimes we're going to have to find them using trig or Pythagorean theorem. In this case, we know that this side here is 5, so we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find this side here, and let's just call that x. Okay. So to find that side, I'm going to have x squared plus 4 squared equals 25 squared. Hopefully by now you guys are recognizing that this is a Pythagorean triple. 14 squared is, that should be 25. I'm jumping the gun. 14 squared is 16, and 5 squared is 25. So if I subtract 16 from both sides, I'm going to get x squared equals 9, and so x equals 3. Sorry about the moving on. So x equals 3. We're not going to worry about the negative square root. So now that we know that this is 3, okay, so this is my area of my base. Big B is going to equal 1/2 the base, which is 4, times the height, which is 3. So if I multiply that out, I'm going to get 6 for the area of the base. So now, to find the lateral area, and I just found the base ahead of time. I know I don't need to for the lateral area. For my lateral area, it's height times the perimeter. I needed that third side to find that perimeter. So my area of the base is 6. The area of the perimeter of the base is 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is going to be 12. So now I have everything I need to find the lateral area. And the lateral area is going to be the height, and that means the height of the prism. So the height of that prism is 7. And then the perimeter we said was 12. So the lateral area is 7 times 12. And you guys are chuckling because you know I'm using my calculator. So my lateral area is 84. Now, the nice thing is, notice that for my surface area, these are the same. So your surface area is always going to be part of the lateral area, or the lateral area is going to be part of the surface area. So our surface area is HP plus 2B. The HP is 84. And then we found the area of the base to be 6. So plus 2 times 6. So 84 plus 12 is 96. The area we measure in square inches or square feet or whatever. So this is going to be 96 feet squared. And so our lateral area is 84 feet squared, and our surface area is 96 feet squared. Okay, let's look at another example. This time we have a hexagonal prism. Okay, so if it's regular, notice all our angles on the sides are the same. So we can say that our perimeter is 6 times, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. 6 times 6, so the perimeter is 36. Big B is the area of the base. Our base is the hexagons. So here is my base. And we find the area of that by 1/2 ban Okay, the base, the apothem, and the number of sides. So, well, what happened there? So, one side of my base is 5.2. Do it up here. 1/2 times, I'm sorry, it's 6. The apothem is 5.2, and I have 6 sides. Okay, so if I multiply all of that out, I'm going to get 93.6 is the area of my base. I'm going to double check that. You guys know me in math, arithmetic. And it is 93.6. So now we have everything we need to find the lateral area. Laterally is the height. Remember, it's the height is what connects the bases. So 8 times the perimeter of 36. And that's going to give me 288 square miles. Okay. And then again, my surface area takes my lateral area. They're the same things. So the 288 plus 2 times big B, and we said big B was 93.6. And then if I simplify that, that's going to give me 475 and 2/10 miles squared. Okay, let's do another example. All right, let's look at our base. First of all, our height is what connects the bases. So let's determine the bases. So my bases are going to be the trapezoids. All right. The height is what connects them. So my height is 8 inches. And then my perimeter is the distance around. And notice that this 4 right here is that side. So my perimeter, let's do that first, is going to be, okay, I've got 2 of the 4s, so the legs are 4s. One of my bases is 3, and the other one is 7. So my perimeter is going to be 18. Okay. The area of my base is the trapezoid, so it's 1/2 height times the sum of the bases. So 1/2, let's go up here again. My height is the 3.5 inches. And then one of my bases is 7, and the other is 3. Okay, if I multiply all that together, it's going to give me 36 and 75/100 for the area of the base. So now I can do my lateral area. The height we said was the 8 inches. The perimeter we said was 18. So 8 times 18 is going to be 144. So my lateral area is 144. To find my surface area, I'm going to take my lateral area and add 2 times the area of the base, which we said was 36.75. So if I add that up, I'm going to get 217 and a half. And this is inches squared, and our lateral area was 144 inches squared. All right, last example. Now, I know that the surface area of this perimeter is 359 inches. We want to find the height of the rectangular prism. Now, with the rectangular prism, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what's the height, what times the base. Just know that you need the 3 dimensions. So I've got this dimension of 11, which is the one side, I've got this dimension of 9, and then what I'm looking for is that little tiny height there. So I know that the formula for surface area is 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the width times the height. So basically, everything is used twice. So I know my surface area is 359, and that's going to be equal to 2. Let's let L be 11, just so that we can clarify. Let's let the width be 9, and then H we're just looking for. So the length we said was 11, and the width we said was 9. So 2 times 11 plus 9 plus 2. And then we have length times the height. So we said the length was 11. 2 times 11, H, because we don't know what height is, and we're looking for height. Plus 2 times the width we know is 9. And again, we're looking for the height. So let's simplify all of this. So 2 times 11 times 9 is 198. And then 2 times 11 is 22H. 2 times 9 is 18H. If I combine my like terms, I get 359 equal to 198 plus 40H. And I'm going to subtract 359 minus 198 is 161 equals 40H. Divide by 40. I'm going to get H equal to 4.025, and it would just be miles. All right. So I went over quite a few examples, so hopefully you know the difference between faces and bases. You know the difference between lateral area and surface area. Remember, lateral area would be like painting the walls of a room, where surface area would be painting the floors, the walls of the ceiling, or how much wrapping paper it would take to wrap a present. Okay, have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.